Hey guys, happy Friday! I want to wait just a few seconds because we try to go live just a few seconds before it's actually 12. So that way it gives y'all a chance. You're in for a treat today. I hope my inner circle's watching. I hope we get some newbies on here because you're in for a real treat. I get so excited when I have something new to be able to show you. It just thrills me to no end. So, okay, are we good? Let me know when it's 12 o'clock. Is it 12 o'clock? All right, so I can do that. All right, so here's the deal. As you pop on, please be sure and just say, hey, tell me where you're tuning in from. My name is Amy Howard. I'm the mother maker here at Amy Howard at Home. And I am, I guess you could say I'm a little addicted to crafting a beautiful life. I love rescuing and restoring furniture. I love creating beautiful interiors, but I also like creating art. And today I'm going to be showing you an inspiration for a furniture finish, but I'm also going to show you how you can transition that in and create a beautiful piece of art. It's going to be so much fun. And it's a brand new product that we've never had on Amy Howard at Home before. If we've never allowed this, we've never had it for sale. And so I promise it's going to be one of your new favorite things. I could put myself in my studio, put on some great Yo-Yo Ma music, and shut the world out and just work with this all day long. So as you pop on here, be sure and say, hey, tell me where you're tuning in from. And just so you know, if you share this video and tag some good friends that love creating too, one, they'll love you for it, but your name goes in for a drawing and we give away product. And I'm going to be giving away some eco powder as well as a mold today that I'm going to be able to show you how to create. I promise you're going to be totally addicted because you can use it on furniture as well as art. Also, here's the other deal. We always do a code. So today's code should be up in the listing for the live on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, but it's FB, the acronym for Facebook, FB Live 621. FB Live 621, you just put that code in, and from today through Monday night, you can use that code and get 20% off on any of the products that I'm showing you today. So that way it makes it a lot more fun to have a little bit of savings along the way. So I don't want to keep talking because I know that those of you that you tune in, it's like, Amy, will you get with it? Will you go on and show us what you're going to show us today? So I want to make sure to do that. All right, so again, as you pop on here, say, hey, I want to see, hey, Tracy. Hey, Mary Jo. Hey, Kathy. We got the best tribe, don't we? All right. So I'm going to turn this down. I may need to turn it around just a little bit. I'm going to turn this down and I want you to be able to see what it is that I'm doing. Just know that I'm going to go back and answer questions later. So I might not be able to see your chat on my iPad, but that way, T, is there a way for me to be able to see the chat on my iPad? Can you change that? I have a great assistant. T is my studio assistant, and she helps me with all this kind of stuff. So I don't know what I'd do without her. And today's her birthday. So we're going to give a shout out to Tia. All right. So I'm going to go on and turn this down, and that way we can get started. All right. So here we go. So that way if I can, there we go. Perfect. All right. So that lets me see. All right. So now I'm going to put this back up here. Now, you know, on my recent trip to New Orleans, there were a lot of finishes that I saw that were really grungy, and they were actually quite beautiful. Let me get this. My OCD is coming in just a little bit, and I need to be able to see that this balanced. And one of the things that I loved about it was the fact that it was very grungy. And I thought, I'm going to show you that grungy New Orleans finish. Don't you just like saying the word grungy? Sometimes I say grody. So grody or grungy. But then as I was creating this finish, I want to take this because this is the part of the goal. This is what I wanted you to be able to learn today. Look at this. This is a finish that is very similar to a lot of the furniture pieces that I was seeing in the antique shops in New Orleans. It's fabulous, fabulous. It's got great texture. It's got great composition. And I'm going to show you how to create this finish today, as well as the ornaments. Now, I wanted you to see this because a lot of times when you are working on furniture, it's fun to be able to put some detail. As I started playing with this and showing you how to do it, of course, I go into this vortex and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I could show them how to do this and that, this and this and this. So there's a resurgence right now of really creating gorgeous pieces of two-dimensional art. You can do this on walls. You can do this on panels. You can do this on furniture. And so I thought, I'm going to show you how to be able to do it because it's so fun and so easy. But couldn't you see floating this in an acrylic shadow box frame and hanging it as a piece of art? Now, of course, I created a composition here with flowers and leaves and my birds, which I had so much fun doing this. But also, if you want to be able to do something that looks more like kind of an intaglio, I have not glued these down yet, so I want to be able to just show you this. Look at this guy. Look at this. Look at the detail on this. So part of what I'm going to be showing you today is how to be able to make these embellishments. Either if you want to be able to use them on your furniture like this would totally be a gorgeous piece of furniture. Or if you want to be able to just come back and create some details or a piece of art. I like being able to float it on a board like this if you want to be able to create the art. All right, so now I'm going to go on and push these aside, and I want to be able to show you one of the first things. I've shown you how to do this before, but I want to show you again because I'm going to use it a little bit differently. One of the products that I have, it's called a Caproni Plaster Wrap. And so if you're working on a piece of furniture, you don't have to paint it first. You want to just be able to clean it really good with a clean slate, and then you're ready to be able to start with a Caproni Plaster Wrap. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my wood piece and I'm going to lay down my plaster wrap like this, and I'm going to cut it. So I'm going to come over here. I don't want to have too much edge. I want it to be able to flap like this. So if I was working on a drawer, if I was working on a panel, this is about the same way that I would do it. If I was working on the top, I will take the drawers out and I'll wrap it underneath the edge on the top, the same way on the drawers, the same way on the sides. So wrapping furniture has been done for hundreds of years, and this is not anything new, but the process and how I'm showing you is. All right, so now I'm just going to come back. As you see, I think I'm going to pull this down just a little bit, and I'm going to trim this top. I've got a little bit of excess. Guys, as you pop on here, please tell me hello. Tell me where you're tuning in from. And if you share this video, your name's going to go in for a drawing, and we're going to be giving away some eco powder and one of our molds. All right, so now in order to make this adhere, all I have to do is use some water. So I'm going to use one of my chip brushes, and I'm going to dip it into some just regular water. And I'm going to start to fold this kind of like I was wrapping a gift, like this. So I'm going to fold this over here. And as I start to wet that, it will literally act almost like a glue, and it's going to hold that in place. Dip it back in water. I usually do just a little bit more edging, so that way I've got a little bit more fold, so it makes it easier. And then I'm going to wrap this. All right, so the great thing about it is if you've got an existing piece and it's got a wood finish on it, it's got maybe some lacquer on it or whatever, or shellac, don't worry about it. You can put the Caproni wrap right over it. Jean, could I have one of those white pieces of paper? I'm going to put it down as I flip this over. Do you have one? All right, so now I'm going to go in and put some gloves on because I'm going to show you something that I do as I'm doing my Caproni wrap. It doesn't hurt my hands or anything. It's just a situation where I like to spread it. All right, so I'm going to put this down and turn this over just to keep my surface area kind of clean. And I'm going to turn it over. Guys, as you pop on, please tell me hello and feel free to ask me questions. I'm going to personally go back and look at them and answer them because I want you to be confident about creating this finish. So now I'm going to come back with my brush and my water on the front like this. Come along the sides. And I'm going to go everywhere with my wet paintbrush. All I'm doing is I'm putting water on here. Once I get it saturated, get that to stay down on my sides. If I was doing a drawer, the same technique. So once I get it saturated with water, I'm going to come back. That's why I put my gloves on. And I'm just going to kind of meld this in like this. So I'll start to see the grid go away and the plaster starts to spread out on my board or my piece of furniture. Now, you're like, Amy, why are you doing this? Why are we going through all this trouble? We thought you were showing us a grungy finish. All right, so here's the deal. When you see a finish on a piece of furniture and it's very textured and it's very grungy, look at that. Can you see that? I've got a little blemish here, but you know what? I like it. It's going to add to that. Look at that. Can you see that texture? If you're going to get a grungy look, I've got to be able to start with some texture. So now I'm going to let this dry. And after it dries, it probably, you can hit it with a hairdryer if you want to. We're talking all of 5 minutes. I can hit it with a hairdryer and it's done in 5 minutes and I can go on to the next step. So now I've got one that's already done and I will tell you when it's completely dry, what I'd like for you to do is I took Italian silver. This is my one step. And I painted over the Caproni wrap. So when this completely dries, I'm going to come back and I'm going to paint the Italian silver over it. And you're like, Amy, why are you doing that? I want you to paint on top of it just like this, one coat. Why are you doing that? The reason is because the Caproni wrap itself is very, very absorbent. And putting one thin coat of the Italian silver one step on top of it gives me good color. It gives me a really good coverage. I like the color that it is, but also it's going to cut down on the absorbency of the Caproni wrap pulling in the milk paint. So now here's what I want to show you. Here's the finish. So as far as the steps that we've done, we've wrapped our piece with the Caproni wrap. We've put on one coat of Italian silver one step. So now it's nice and even. But the good thing is we've got that texture. That's how we create a really grungy finish. So now the other thing that you're going to notice, look at the transformation that's going to go from here to here. How do we do that? As a rule, what do I normally tell you? On the milk paint, I tell you to mix 1 part milk paint to 1 part water. I want you to do 3 parts water to 1 part milk paint. So I am using the Central Park, which is a gorgeous, gorgeous blue. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? In the milk paint. You don't want to use one step. You don't want to use Miracle Paint. You don't want to use a Luxe Lacquer. All of them have different benefits. And part of the beauty of it is the milk paint is going to, one, dry completely matte. When you're looking at antiques, you don't have these sheens and these finishes to them. You've got this really grody kind of textury color. This is only one color too. This is Central Park milk paint. So now I'm going to go in and come over my, I'm going to take my milk paint and I want you to see how thin it is. I just mixed it with my powder and my water, and it's very, very thin. I can always thicken it, but what I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to be able to get some texture to this. So I'm going to go on and take a chip brush. I don't use a synthetic when I'm doing this. So I'm going to go on and dip it into my milk paint water mixture. And I'm going to overlap, and I'm going to continue to go over the whole thing like this. Be sure and do your sides, because this will be the sides of your drawer. Now, I will tell you, sometimes I intentionally try to create some areas that are a little bit darker than others, because that's what's going to give me some variance and some interest. All right, so now I'm going to need a rag. So let's see. If I could get a rag, just a lint-free rag. Perfect. So I'm working with a lint-free rag. You want to make sure that you don't use a paper towel or anything that's going to have lint in it, or a lot of times, we'll cut up old towels. I don't want you to have that either, because all those little threadings are going to get into this. So now look how I'm bunching it up. This is my lint-free rag, and I've made a kind of a pad, but it's got some movement going on, and that's going to allow me to get a little bit of texture. So I'm going to come back before it sets up and completely dries, and I'm going to texture it just a little bit. Now I can tell it's a little thin, so I'm going to come back and add just a little bit more paint to it. You don't know this process until you are working on it. So I'm going to go on and take my Central Park. I'm going to add just a little bit more pigment and paint. The thing is too, when you're working with your milk paint, only make enough for one project. Your shelf life after you've mixed it. Now, the shelf life is indefinite as far as in a powder form. So it is literally casein, it's milk. And so you only want to mix enough at a time of what it is that you're needing. So I'm going to add just a little bit more of that color there. Guys, as you pop on here, tell me, hey, tell me where you're tuning in from. I'm going to go back and look and see all my peeps. Be sure and share this video, because that way your name is going to go in for a drawing. And on Monday afternoon, we'll announce the winner that we're going to be sending some eco powder to, and I'm getting ready to show you that. I can't wait. All right, so now I'm going to take my same brush that I was working with. It's got just a little bit more color, and I'm going to just come on top of here. I'm putting this on top of my Caproni wrap that I actually painted with my One Step Italian silver. So I'm going to let this sit for just a second, but I am not going to let it completely dry. Sometimes I'll even come back and just kind of create some markings. I may fly speck it just a little bit to be able to get some circles. I'm going to come back with my lint-free rag again, and I'm just going to start to texture it. So as this dries down, you're going to see a major transformation of the color. You're going to start to see the Caproni wrap pop out. You're going to start to see a little bit of cracking in it, and you're going to be able to see it's going to go to a totally different color blue. I'm going to dry just a little bit for you so you can see. So part of the other reason why I love the milk paint so much is it's going to give me that continued, really dead, flat, matte finish. And then what I did, I came back and I took a little bit of sandpaper and I lightly sanded over this. And that's what gave me this look. That's it. It's Caproni Wrap. It is Italian silver paint. And then I wash it with the Central Park milk paint. That gives me that finish. So now let me show you what I want to be able to do. I want to create some embellishments on top of it. Here's something else that I did. I did the same thing with the Caproni Wrap, and I did one thin coat of debutante milk paint. I love debutante. I just think it is the most yummy, rosy, soft color. This would be such a pretty piece of art. Um, in so many different areas. I just think this debutante color just goes with grays and creams and just very subtle monochromatic rooms. It would just show up really, really pretty. This would also be a great piece of furniture. So you can do the Caprone wrap, paint it in Italian silver, and then just do one coat of the debutante on top, and you're going to get this look. All right, so now I want to show you my favorite new product here at Amy Howard at Home, and it's called the Eco Powder. Guys, this is going to rock your world. Now, I'm going to tell you, there are some things out there that you're going, probably, it's like, is it like that? I'm going to go, no, because I'm going to tell you what's different about it. You're probably seeing a lot of things online that are gypsum type products that you can do a lot of different things with them. This is not what gypsum is. This is a combination. It is 100% safe, it's non-toxic, and it's hypoallergenic. So the great thing is you can mix this with water, and then you can make these gorgeous details with our molds where you can create beautiful pieces of art like this. But you can also create your own appliques with it that you can put on your furniture, because I can glue this on a piece of furniture and it's going to totally transform it. A lot of people are also doing where they've got two-dimensional plaster that they're actually putting on their walls. If you wanted to be able to create a gorgeous area in your home, in your entry hall, maybe a bathroom, you can totally create this and put it on your walls. It's actually something that I'm working on. All right, so I'm going to go in and take my Eco Powder. I'm going to cut it open. Now, the other thing is, I am going to want to work preferably with silicone. Now, here's why it's good to be able to use the silicone. One, I like the spout. Now, also, you can get these 20% off today through Monday because I'm showing you how to do them in a project. So I'm going to go on and mix my Eco Powder, and I like to do it a little bit thicker. So as a rule, I'll do 4 parts powder to 1 part water. If you do them too thin, your Eco Powder will have a tendency to crack. All right, so now I've got my water in my silicone cup. Here's something else as a tip. Y'all are going to love this. You can also, if you want to tint this, you can tint the Eco Powder with, guess what? Alcohol ink. Like, this is a game changer. I can tint this if I want to take it into a blue color, if I want to take it into cream, if I want to make it brown, if I want to be able to do a different color palette with my piece of furniture that I'm going to make the appliques. All I do is I put in 3 or 4 drops of alcohol ink and it's going to change the color of it. So now I'm going to go on. I want to make sure that I'm mixing this up. The other thing is too, when you're working with the silicone, it's going to allow you to be able to clean it and use this over and over again. If you use paper cups, that will work, but you're going to wind up just throwing the paper cup away. The silicone I love because I can mix it up, and then that way I let it harden. Do not pour this down your sink. I want you to make sure that you let it harden. And then that way you just pop it out of the silicone cup when it's dry. So it's going to take about, um, it's going to take about 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes for it to dry in the cup. All right, so I should have measured this, but I'm going to add just a little bit more because I want to show you the consistency of what it is that we're looking for when we're mixing it. So it's going to be about 4 parts eco powder to 1 part water. This stuff is magic. By the way, guys, do you remember a few weeks ago when I did the diffuser kit, where I showed you how to make the roses and put the essential oils in it? It's back in stock. So you can go on the Amy Howard at Home website and get that. All right, so now I want you to about see the consistency. Look at this. It's pourable, but it's nice and thick. It's about the consistency of pancake batter. Actually, I'm going to add just a little bit more. Guys, as you pop on here, see too, tell me where you're tuning in from and ask me questions. And I'll go back and ask them later, but be sure and share this video. And take advantage of the code today is FB Live 621. That's FB Live 621. All right, so I feel good about that. I'm ready to pour. So now, if I could have, Jean, could I have a, can I have a mold over there in the cabinet? Just going in bottom left. Yes, grab one of those molds and just bring it to me. So there's a couple of things I want you to be aware of when you're working on the molds. Here's one that I poured, but I did not scrape it. Here's one that I poured and I scraped it. Do you see the difference? So the beauty of it when you're working with it and on these molds, it's not going to adhere to the silicone. But I want to show you how you need to be able to pour it in and scrape it so that way you've got a beautiful flat back. And again, these are perfect for appliques on your furniture as well as beautiful pieces of art. All right, so now I'm going to watch. There's 2 things that I want you to get. Now, we're also going to have these on the website as well. You can buy a pack of the pipettes, because there are going to be little areas like your leaves and maybe little areas on your flowers that you're going to want to be able to have the pipette to just go in and place it like that. So that way you don't have too much of it spreading. So I want to be able to show you. This is one that we did before we went live, and you see how nice and flat it is. If you pour it and it just piles up and you don't scrape it, then it's going to give you the unevenness. Now, have you ruined it if that happens? No, absolutely not. You can sand it. You can manipulate it and it will be just fine. All right, so let's go in and pour some in. See again how I'm working with the silicone container that has a spout on it. We've also got smaller ones. Uh-oh, I just spilled water on my table. All right, let me clean this up. That's the beauty of going live. All right, so let me just clean this off. All right, so I'm just going to take this with the spout, and I'm going to take my time. I'm going to start to gauge it as far as where I've got to position and hold it. If I want to be able to go with a smaller cup, I can pour some from the big one into the smaller one. But now here's the deal. You've only got a few minutes to do this. You're going to have to work fast because what's going to happen, it's going to start to set up. But this is the perfect product for you to be able to create your appliques, and it's all eco-friendly. There's no fumes from it. You don't have to worry about working with epoxies. It's beautiful. And it's very easy to work with, and it really holds its shape, and it doesn't crack like you would think it would. All right, so now See how sometimes I'll use that pipette and I'll just kind of move it around. If I need to, I can also just do my pipette down in here. So if I need to get down into this branch, watch how I'll fill that up. It just makes it a lot easier when you're wanting to do really fine details. So I want to be able to, I'm going to mess this up just a little bit because I want to show you how to be able to fix it. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to over pour that flower. I'm going to over pour this leaf a little bit. See how it's sticking up? And part of the reason why I'm over pouring this is I want to show you how to be able to fix it. All right, so I did that on purpose. I wanted you to be able to see. So now I'm going to take my stir stick. You can take a craft stick, whatever, but you just want to be able to have a flat edge. And I'll take that at the very top of my my mold. And basically, I'm going to go down it and hold it very steady, and it's going to take off the excess. I can just wipe it off my stick and go over it again until it gets all that off. That's going to allow me to get a really gorgeous flat back in order to be able to take it out. Now you want to be able to set this aside and allow it to dry. Let's say upwards of an hour. That way you know you're going to be good to go. So now I've got a couple here. I want you to see the detail that you can get from these. Look at this. Is that not crazy? Can't you see putting this on your furniture, how gorgeous it's going to look? So the details are so gorgeous. These are so easy to paint. You can so gild these. Even being able to take some of them, that's why I wanted to be able to show you as far as putting them on a surface like we've created on the board here today is so easy. Now, I'm going to pull this over here, and I want you to be able to see something that I had done earlier. It was funny when I was working on this, Jean said, "What is that in the center of it?" And I said, "Well, it's actually just, it's a form of an intaglio, but it almost looks Baroque. It's got so much detail in it. And if you don't mix it in the eco powder, all you have to do is, I'll show you, you can take it, and I took a little bit of alcohol ink. Make sure to shake it up, especially when you're working with the metallic alcohol inks. And I just sprinkled a little bit on top of it. And I came back with my artist brush. And it gives me just a really beautiful metallic look. Now, a lot of you may go, why wouldn't you gild that? Well, you totally could. Part of the reason why I was having fun with this is because I can mix the alcohol inks to create custom colors with the eco powder. Look at that. So I just came back, painted the sides with one step, gives me that gorgeous matte color. And that way you can put it on top of your boards if you want to be able to do tapestries, if you want to be able to put this on top of your furniture. It's absolutely fabulous. And then, of course, don't forget being able to create two-dimensional panels like this. I just love it. So hopefully this is going to inspire you. You'll be excited. You'll be able to see what all you can create. Take advantage of all of the molds that we have on Amy Howard at Home. And now that you've got the eco powder, you can come in and create these, and they'll be dry. Again, it's hypoallergenic. There's no toxins. There's no fumes. nothing. It allows you to be able to create gorgeous details to be able to put on your furniture, on your art. It's going to rock your world, I promise. So hopefully, hold on. Is that so fun? All right. So hopefully, if I can get down, I'm having technical difficulties with my phone. So I want you to experiment with the Caproni wrap and putting on the one step. Don't forget the one step, because that's going to make sure that your surface, you've got it to where it is controlled. If I don't put the one step on top of the Caproni wrap, it's going to absorb it a lot more. It's going to make it a lot more absorbent, and you're not going to be able to control it like I was on this. I'm telling you, this finish was on a piece of furniture in New Orleans, and I'm just going to tell you, it was like $18,000. I couldn't believe it. And I thought, I've got to show you how to do this. So we have tons of molds. You can go to the Amy Howard at Home website. We have a lot of molds. All the molds are on sale today. If you use the code Facebook Live 621, grab the Eco Powder. We're going to sell out. I'm testing the water on some of this, but it's like the more I get into it, the more excited I am, and the more I realize it's going to rock your world. So I can't wait for you to try it. I promise you're going to be sold, and it's going to allow you a lot of versatility in painting your furniture and creating your art. So share this video, tag some good friends, take advantage of your name going in for the drawing that we will announce the winner on Monday, because we say sharing is caring. And I can't wait to see what all of you guys do. It's so exciting. Have a fantastic weekend. Mwah. Love you guys.